So can I request everybody to switch off the mobiles? And we have an interactive question answer session after the talk. बीच में नहीं इंटरप्ट कोई करे क्योंकि यूट्यूब पे लाइव है ना, तो वो फिर नहीं तो थोड़ी कंफ्यूजन हो जाती है. A warm welcome to all of you on behalf of Nutrians and our event partner today, Federation of Indian Women Entrepreneurs. It's a joy to have you all here. I'm sure we are all familiar with the name Health Horizon, now being called Nutrians. Nutrians is a non-profit group and is there to empower each one of us to become responsible for our and our family well-being. Good health is possible only through right nutrition, and we at Nutrients are there to guide you step by step. The link of our website is www.nutrients.in. I repeat, www.nutrian.in. Nutrients in. Our website is mobile friendly. All the articles can be shared on WhatsApp with your friends and dear ones. And you have the option to read it in the language that you're most comfortable with. And very shortly we will be introducing the Nutrients Club, where there will be a forum where you can ask your questions and our team will be answering them once a week. And it's live on YouTube. So, dear friends, it's always an honor to introduce Dr. Veena Agarwal, a co-founder of Nutrians. Achievements of Dr. Veena Agarwal are innumerable. She started her career with AIMS and thereafter worked as research head at Nutrition Foundation of India and also with USAID with projects in collaboration with WHO. She joined VLCC as its research head and also director of VLCC Healthcare Group and was there for 17 years. She is known for her passionate alignment to the cause of health through good nutrition. She has always stressed on the need of greater preventive healthcare measures in our country. It is a selfless service to society to share the bank of her knowledge with all of us through the medium of this website. We are fortunate to be a part of this website, part of Nutrients. So, over to Veena ji.
Well, thank you so much, and good evening to everyone. Well, you may be wondering, there are so many websites. How come I felt the need to create another one? Well, the reason is there is so much is happening on the nutrition side, and it is such a dynamic discipline, and I'm very glad that very, very creditable organizations like NCBI, Lancet, PubMed, they are all working on the nutrition side, and they are putting everything on the websites also, but in a very technical scientific language. It's not so easy to understand it. I tried hard to collect all those informations and then put them in simple layman's language which could benefit us all. I have tried to put them in 9 different categories, and many disciplines have been put under each category. Though of course today, with the constraint of time, I cannot speak on all of that information. I have tried to pick up one simple article from each category which I am going to share with you, and I would be very, very happy if to have an honest feedback from you all, how you feel, is it going to help you out? So to start with, we start with the category healthy aging. I think we are all in that group where we are aging. Day and night we feel different type of pains in the body, which do not let us have a real good healthy lifestyle as we would like to. I would put that what kind of pains do we usually feel? It could be tender throbbing pain leading to spasms and cramps. The cramps could be at different times of the day. It could be during the day. It could be at night. It could also be that the pain is not so simple and tender, making your muscles feel just sore and stiff. It could be very needle-like pains also, piercing, making life little uncomfortable. So what are those pains? The first pains, which are simple, which I have explained, this could be just muscle pains. But in those muscle pains also you must know that if they are during the day, it could be like calcium deficiency. But if the cramp comes during the night, it is not then calcium usually, it is magnesium. Why I have I have given you this distinct information is so you know whether I may be deficient in calcium or in magnesium. Same way, there could be muscular pains which could be more central to the body, like in the shoulders and thighs, where activities like you may be finding it difficult to comb your hair, climbing the stairs, or maybe when you are sitting cross-legged, when you are getting up, you feel the pain. Now these kind of pains, maybe it is giving an indication that you may be getting into hypothyroid category, or if you already know you are hypothyroid, maybe your dosages have to be adjusted. And those needle-like pains which I was talking to you, the nerve pains, you may be very much familiar with the word peripheral neuropathy. Am I right? These are the pains which are into the peripheral body organs, like in the legs or in the hands. There you feel numbness, dullness, weakness, and at times also those piercing pains. Now this is called peripheral neuropathy in the scientific terms. But what usually happens is, why it happens? It is mostly due to your uncontrolled diabetes, one of the reasons. And the second reason maybe it is B12 deficiency. And maybe together both these things are there. That is why it has happened. Mostly people would say, well, what is it? Is it just the muscles? Is it just the nerves? Now, this is something which whenever I have interacted with people over the dais, they haven't, I think this is something small distinction which all of us need to understand, that nerves also have to be fed with blood vessels. And when this is uncontrolled diabetes, those vessels which are feeding the nerves also have then now the lesser dimension because of the sugar both sides of the blood vessels. So with the smaller dimension, this nutrient distribution will not reach the nerves. And what will happen in the long run? The nerves will die off. So when the nerves will die off, how will the sensations reach the organs where these nerves are dying? So I think this has to be understood very clearly. So if you want to avoid this kind of peripheral neuropathy, which normally happens with uncontrolled diabetes, please understand these nerves also need blood for their normal functioning. So uncontrolled sugar is going to finish your nerves slowly and slowly. And the second thing is, we all know when we are diabetic, we are put on the drug metformin. Now this metformin, this is the research, and I am very happy that pharmacists have started working on the feedback of these research things, that with the taking of metformin, the B12 levels in the body, they fall down. Now, when B12 levels fall down, so the functioning of B12, whatever functions it is contributing to the body, if you are not taking additional B12 along with metformin, you are sure, your nerves are sure to suffer, because B12 helps in building the right membrane, which is called myelin, for the nerves. That is one. And second thing is, we also know these nerves have nerve fibers, which work in sending the messages, and B12 prepares that chemical which is called neurotransmitter. So in the absence of B12, your myelin, the membrane of the nerve, gets affected, and that is where you see when the membrane is getting affected, the two sides of the nerves, they touch, and then there is electrical shock kind of a sensation, or needle like pricking that happens. And when you see these neurotransmitters are not created in the absence of B12, then the signals don't pass, or the effect is peripheral neuropathy. So you have to manage it when you are first of all control your diabetes. Second thing is, if you are on metformin, please ensure yourself that you are also taking supplementation with B12. There are drugs in the market now. Through the research of these bodies, the pharmacists have taken advantage, and they have come out with glyciphage and many drugs with B12. So look into it, that what you are taking, talk to your doctor, instead of taking one or two tablets here and there. If you can have the combination, why not? The third thing is that I think we have tried to cover in the website is how to manage them, when to take this B12. If you are taking this B12, please try and see if it is a supplement. Try and take it in the morning or early afternoon, because it is the energy liberator for the body. So in the morning itself you will feel a lot of energy. But at the same time, if you see you have had any kind of bypass surgery for the abdominal region, then this supplementation, oral supplementation, will not help you. Then you have to have parenteral injection of B12 if you do not want to suffer with this kind of peripheral neuropathy. I do hope I have tried to put the research in very simple language, so you can take the practical advantage of it. So this is concerning as so far our healthy aging part is concerned. And now we'll move on to the next part, which is lifestyle diseases. We have tried to cover on the website many diseases, right from hypertension, diabetes, many other lifestyle disorders, CVD, and many more. But right now, since we'll take one article only in one slider, I'll talk of diabetes. See, in the diabetes, when I have often talked to the people, there is always a confusion. What are the cutoff points for the fasting and PP sugar? American Dietetic Association. You see, there are two groups of people, please understand, those who are diabetic and those who are non-diabetic. Maybe you will be surprised that diabetic people have a higher cutoff point for sugar, blood glucose, than the non-diabetic ones. I'll explain you the reason also for it. See, the cutoff points which American Dietetic Association have said, for the non-diabetic, fasting sugar has to be 100, less than 100. Then PP, postprandial, has to be less than 140. But when I take diabetic, they have said diabetic to be cutoff point as 130 and the PP as 180. Don't you think it is reason? It may be, little difficult for you even to comprehend why it must be. Let me explain it to you. You see, the body has been made in such a way that when you are healthy, if anything is going down, like if the blood glucose level is going down, the body has that automatic system that it will create the metabolic pathways in such a way that it will start coming up. You will not get into hypoglycemia. Automation of the whole system will be like this. But when you become a diabetic, that system has failed. So you have to have extra leverage for your blood sugars. This side is 100, this side is 130, this side is 140, this side is 180 for a diabetic, so that care is taken, you don't get into hypoglycemic state. But you see, this is for American Dietetic Association, these cutoff points. Let us understand, our Indians, we have very different set of chromosomes. Our DNA whole system is very different. If you see, what happens is, when even we tend to have abdominal fat more. We tend to have more of low birth weight babies. So keeping all these, things into mind of our genetic setup and even our environment, so our doctors said, let us not follow American standards also, but let us not be too conservative also for ourselves. So let us be little bit on the lower side for our cutoffs for fasting and PP. So it may not be 100, it could be even 120. Even let's not be having 140, let's have it as 120. And even for PP, so -20 on both the sides. So we are in between our old Indian standards and American standards. Same way for the glycated hemoglobin, which we say HbA1c. It is, for the non-diabetic it is 5.7, and for the diabetic it is 6.5. Same way we can have little leverage this side also. This is as so far the cutoff points are concerned. Now comes the management. Diabetic diet would be like the diet, healthy diet for for all of us it is. Only thing is, let's understand what we have to avoid, that there should be no excursions of glucose during the day, during the night. That has to be avoided. All our lifestyle has to be in a way that glucose is steady, is moving steady. How do we do it? So we need to eat food in such a way. We need to cook food. I don't know, till today it was all talked. How many grams of this, how many grams of this, so many calories, this. But we have to go beyond it now. Food has to be fiber rich, we all know. Now millets, even the government is also putting the policies. I am very happy seeing, what is the state of affairs, how diseased are the nations. So millets, one thing which government has also put in its plan. Millets have to grow, millets have to be used. And I think all what is millets. Millet is jawar, bajra, all coarse grains. All these coarse grains are fiber rich, but please make a note of it, they are not protein rich. A diabetic also must have good protein, sufficient protein for the satiety value. So whenever you are taking millets, just try and see that you have little additional protein. Even in the market you must have seen, just read the label, millets plus, you see, I happen to be consultant to one of the companies who is into the millets. So we ensured that millets have to be mixed with high protein, either chana or soya bean, for the consumption, so that you have satiety, you have good protein, good complete protein along with fiber. That should be the thing that will not let you have excursions if you have sufficient fiber. Of course, the calories have to be as per your weight. See, if you have extra weight, if you have overweight, if you are obese, you are bound to suffer with these kind of problems. So try and come towards the normal weight. And weight, besides the weight, what is really important is the fat percentage. These are 2-3 things I think we normally talk of weight. Please ensure there are 3 parameters you should be very careful about. Weight, along with weight, what is your fat percentage? There could be 2 people. One is both 60 kgs or 70 kgs, whatever. Some may be having 21% of fat. Another person may be having 28% of fat. That's for a man, where ideal fat percentage is only 21%. The third thing is, which becomes still more important, is you have the extra fat, but where is the fat located in your body? So if the fat is on the thighs and hips, not that kind of a worry. But if the fat is in the abdominal region, which you call visceral fat, you had it. You may be having the same weight. Doesn't matter, it's not of concern. But please have the fat in the right places and have the right percentage of fat. So it is not just the BMI or the weight, it is your body composition that's very important for you. If you to avoid diabetes or any kind of these non-communicable diseases, or if you have it away. You can even reverse it. The third thing is now something that's a newer concept that these journals have helped me to share this information with you, is the cooking. Now everybody says is so many grams of potatoes. Okay, you can have if you are a diabetic. But there could be that somebody is boiling the potato, mashing them and making them into a paratha. So half the potato you have already pre-digested before it has reached your stomach. Right? And the another person has microwaved or roasted or whatever with skin and is using the same amount of potatoes. But here it will take so much longer time for that person to digest that potato. And there is a third person who's baked it, who's roasted, whatever, has cooled down the potatoes and with the skin has put those potatoes in the salad, put some nuts, seeds, etc., and has eaten the potatoes like this. Gram wise the potatoes are the same gram, but maybe the first one will have excursions of glucose because it is of potatoes outside your body. So it needs very little time for it to digest. Once it digests, the blood glucose level increases. The second one with the skin is also taking the fiber. It is not, that kind of pre-digested. And the third one, when you have put it in the salads with nuts and seeds, you have enriched it with the proteins also, with the fats also, and job is done. As of our diabetes control, and there are two. Now the other question we will also have is, can we use the artificial sweeteners? There are many sweeteners in the market, but what has been authorized, have been researched, is you please use sucralose or stevia. Don't use stevia leaves because they can be poisonous also. These are the two only sweeteners which have been recommended for use by the diabetics if they wish to use. Otherwise, if you don't want to use, that is also very fine. Now, as far as diabetes is concerned, the other things could be also, like if you are, as I have already discussed, if you are on metformin and things like this. One thing more I would like to add. You see, what happens is, when B12 absorption, when we are aging, our B12 absorption, because our gastric acid in the stomach, we all know hydrochloric acid, which helps in the digestion of food, that also gets reduced. Now with the food, when we have B12, it has to be separated where acid is required, and then the absorption has to happen in the canal, in the intestinal area, where calcium has also to be there. So it is not a single, as body has so many, you see, body is composed of so many things, so the needs are also so many at one time. So if you are taking B12, but if you are depleted in calcium, again the job will not be done. B12 will not be absorbed. So please be careful that you have calcium, enough calcium also. If you have B12 deficiency, take care of calcium levels also. And the third thing is, let's move ahead, saying that calcium also cannot be absorbed properly till you have vitamin D. So let's not segregate, let's not make it like, well, I am taking B12, I am taking glyciphage. B12, fine. Then ensure you have sufficient calcium in the body, you have sufficient vitamin D also for absorption of all the nutrients. Now we can move to, well, this is prenatal and maternal health. This has been always at the core of my heart. Done a lot of work also. I brought my researches if anybody would like to see. The simple thing is, we at the policy level, at the government level, at our individual levels, we've been fighting on, well, let's look after the health of children from 1 to 5. As I'm very happy now, this present government has realized that if the child born is unhealthy, is with low birth weight, what will you do in bringing up the health of that child? Why don't you stop these low birth weight babies or unhealthy babies and take care of the nutrition of the mother? So if the baby is healthy, the task is easier. And how it can be? First of all, what needs to do is before the pregnancy. You see, these ladies, mothers, they don't even know that they are pregnant for the first 1 or 2 months. And if they have become pregnant, immediately the brain development of the newborn starts. And if she is already depleted in zinc, B6, B12, iron, then there will be cognitive decline of the baby when the baby would be born, because she won't even realize, she won't even know she is pregnant. Before the pregnancy, the nutritional status of the mother is very important for the right cognitive development of the baby. Now the mother knows she is pregnant, okay, fine. At that time also, during the pregnancy stage, if the proteins, if the calories, and also if the other micronutrients, there is deficiency anywhere, the tissues, the organs that are cut for the baby will be smaller in size. They will be smaller in size. Why? Because mother has already sent a signal to the baby. You have come in very unhealthy environment. Please adjust to this environment. Baby, the newborn, the baby fetus who is not even born is very intelligent to understand that I have to survive. So the tissues the baby cuts is of smaller size, and the metabolic pathways are also diverted in such a way that the structure of the different organs is small. The baby has to survive in the womb of the mother. And then what happens is, if it continues, the baby is still more intelligent, or the metabolic pathways have become all changed. Now, instead of laying the tissues which are strong tissues like of bones, and also you see of muscle, the more depots are created of the fat. Because the fat depots, they don't need that kind of a nutrition as the lean body mass and bones need. And if still the growth is hampered through bad nutrition, what would happen is, when the baby is born, permanently the structures in the kidney, the structure in the pancreas, these beta cells, nephrons in the kidney, and neurons in the brain, they will all be affected. Because when the baby is born and the baby reaches the adulthood or the adolescent stage, the fat percent will be much higher in that child or in that adolescent compared to the others, who were born healthy. Now, what is this unhealthy? Less than 2.5 kgs weight. And India, you see, there was a time in India at other places also, we were worried on the infectious diseases. Now, what is the worry? Now, the worry is on lifestyle diseases, which is diabetes, cardiovascular diseases, and such other health problems. And this extra fat, the abdominal fat, which these babies are born with, who are born with low birth weight, when they become adults, they are more prone to these problems because of the extra central obesity. I do hope I made it clear. I did this research. The platform was, of course, VLCC, where we had I had my subjects, which were about 5 to 10,000. The research studies here. And we did, I did this as a retrospective study, and it was very hard work. We took the birth weights of the clients who had come to us. They were about 30 years back or 40 years back, but we collected those. And when we took the medical records, those who were with medical problems like diabetes, etc., say about 70% of them were born with low birth weight. So we all have to work towards it. I'm very happy that now the focus has shifted even of the government policies from 1 to 5 children to maternal nutrition. Have healthy children. So why you need to worry for till 5 years or so? They would develop as healthy adults and will not suffer with these kind of problems where national resources are also getting hampered to such a big extent. Now we move on to the next slider. Healthy eating. Yeah, we all want to eat healthy, and we've done some. I picked up some research work from here and from all creditable places. This is also all evidence based, and I'll just put 2 or 3 examples. Like we all say, raw food is very healthy because raw has the maximum nutrition. Cooking will spoil the nutrition. So eat maybe carrot, maybe tomato, whatever A, B, C, D, eat raw. Let me tell you, it doesn't hold true for everything. Now we know tomato. Tomato has lycopene. The skin. You have to have the tomato with the skin. You have to cook it. And most of the times I see at many places they have to put it in the curry. So remove the peel, boil it, mash it and put it. Let the lycopene go to the dustbin. Right. So please use tomato as a whole. Cook it. Of course in the website we have put, but please use this lycopene with the skin. Second thing is lycopene is more bioavailable in the presence of fat. So of course it is there. You have it with the skin and use it in the curries or whatever, and of course fat is going to be there. So that is where the real benefit of tomato will happen. And tomato, we all know, is very good for diabetics, for hypertensives, and is very good for skin. And the research has said that if you are going out in the sun, this lycopene can help save your skin from UV rays. So please try to use tomato in the cooked form with the skin. Now the second thing is also carrots. Carrot also, it was always said, pluck the carrot, eat it raw. Well, no, please. Carrot has beta carotene. Only the carotene, I have put it on the website, how to steam it, what time, what level of water and everything. But carrots also have to be steamed, have to be taken with fat for the availability of beta carotene. Beta carotene, we all know, gets converted into vitamin A, which is very good for eyes. And vitamin A is a fat soluble vitamin. See, if you use the logic, you will see it for yourself. So if you're just eating carrot as such, how does it help you? There's no fat there. And the beta carotene bioavailability also happens when it is steamed. How you do it? read the website. And the most interesting part now I want to talk to you is about spinach. I have met many people who have had the heart trouble, who are put on the warfarin. They have left eating spinach once for all in their lifetime, because spinach has vitamin K. Vitamin K is responsible for blood clotting. So these people, they are very afraid that if they eat spinach, then vitamin K will give the blood clotting, which can sometimes trouble them in having this blood clot in the brain. But the studies say, well, spinach is also of different types. There is baby spinach also, there is that usual spinach also. This vitamin K is available to the body only after cooking. So you don't have to leave, even if you are on the warfarin, you don't have to leave spinach. Have the baby spinach, use it, don't cook it, use it in the salad, use it in the smoothie, whatever way, have it. Because that vitamin K, which is there in the chloroplast, will not be released in the body, will not give you any problem. So all those people who may be on warfarin, you can use that. But those other people, please use spinach. Use that, of course, with boiling or whatever way you are doing. And this vitamin K, don't think spinach is that iron. You can avoid the other iron things and just take spinach, and it will be enough for you. It will be like recommended dietary allowance of iron. No, please. This iron is not that available. What is really, I would say, I would think of spinach. This vitamin K, it really would help in directing your calcium towards the bones. That is the greatest function of vitamin K. If you take spinach, this vitamin K, which is present in spinach in good amounts, will help in directing your calcium towards the bones instead towards the arteries. When calcium is directed towards the arteries, then you know the dimension of the artery will also become narrow. Your blood circulation will also, that is where high blood pressure happens, because of the deposit of calcium in the arteries. Let it go. You may be osteoporotic on one side, and this calcium is depositing in the arteries, and you are hypertensive on the other side, in the absence of vitamin K. So just take care of these things. We've done research on many more things like red rice and white rice and this rice, which is all on the website, so you can see that. But small little differences in your cooking. It is not what you eat, how many grams you eat. It is what gets absorbed in the body, what gets assimilated in the body and becomes a part of you. Now we go to the next. Also maybe we can give little time to fats and oils, which has always been a hot topic here. And you go to any market, same oil of different brands, different labels, different mixtures, what all is there. It becomes little problematic to the mind also, that what should I buy, what will be really healthy for me. Many a times in modern times I have also heard people saying